What's up, guys? We are back with a full slate of MLB action here on Wednesday, September 18th. Tuesday went pretty okay out there, guys. We've got a winning day locked up already. We had the Giants minus 110. That was a 10-0 blowout loss there for San Francisco. The Guardians let us down today, though, guys. They lost 4-1, so that was not ideal. Both teams put up 8 hits, but the Guardians put up only that single run. The Phillies minus 142. That one came through easily, a 5-1 win there behind a great start from Zach Wheeler. The Cardinals minus 130. That was another win, a low-scoring game, 3-1 for the Cardinals. Lynn and the Cardinals bullpen looked very, very solid. We still have the Padres going on. They're actually trailing there in the middle of the 5th inning. They're down a couple runs, but they've still got a chance. So we've got a chance to go 5-1. Definitely locked up at least a 3-2 day. So we'll take that. Go ahead and put a winning day out there on the board. Before we jump into the games for today, guys, hit that like button to give the channel a little boost and keep me motivated to make these videos every single day. If you're new around here or haven't already, subscribe to the channel for free so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. You can now also sign up for a channel membership by clicking the little join button right there below the video. Members get exclusive early access to all NFL and college football videos and get their names up on screen just like right now. I really appreciate the support from all of you. Seeing that badge next to your comments absolutely warms my heart. Our videos are sponsored by StumpTheSpread.com. We have a team of experienced cappers over there for every major sport, currently covering Major League Baseball, NCAA football, UFC, and the NFL. Click the link in the description if you're interested in signing up and also to join our free email list. Get the occasional free or premium pick straight to your inbox. Stump the Spread is starting a $100 to $10,000 challenge. It's going to be tracked through those emails, so get on the list so you don't miss out on how that challenge is progressing. Comment below with any bets you're looking at today, and we will give you our best advice on all of them. We are committed to responding to every single comment every day, so let me know anything you want to say about my picks, these videos, or anything you see here. As always, our favorite picks will be in the pinned comment down below. Now let's get into our first game of the day. We've got the Oakland A's going on the road to take on the Chicago Cubs. Oakland comes into this game fresh off a 4-3 win there in Game 2 of this series. At 66 and 86 on the year, though, they're not headed anywhere important. They're going to be handing the ball in this one to Brady Basso. He comes into this game with a 1.23 ERA. He's normally, he was a bullpen guy for a while, but they switched him over to a starting role, and he looked great immediately, guys. He dominated the Tigers, 6 innings, 3 hits, no runs, and then he dominated the White Sox at Chicago. 5 1/3 innings, 5 hits, no runs allowed in that one either. So a bit of a step up in competition, I would say, here going against the Cubs. We'll see what we get from him, but I'm expecting pretty good stuff. I'm also expecting maybe not miracles, but not terrible stuff from that Oakland bullpen. A 3.94 bullpen ERA. While it doesn't look amazing, this was one of the better bullpens in Major League Baseball for a good 30, 40, something like that game stretch. So they've got some very live arms out there. Absolutely no doubt about that. We'll see what they can do at the plate. That's usually the concerning area for Oakland. They've scored 4, 2, 3, 6, and 2 runs over their last few games. Obviously, Brent Rooker is an absolute monster, guys, but this is not overall a very impressive offense. So we'll see what we get from Oakland in this game, taking on the Cubs, who had won the first game of this series pretty handily before losing the second. They're 77 and 74 in the year, trying to keep themselves there in the wild card race and maybe even in the NL Central race, but 10 games back, that's looking like a pretty steep hill. They're going to be hitting the ball to Justin Steele in this game. He's 5-5 on the year with a 3.09 ERA. Yeah, he's coming off of the 15-day IL after an elbow issue, so we're definitely a little bit worried about that. At elbow, he could be better, he could not be better, guys. I mean, his last few starts have been absolutely lights out. The dude's been dominant over his last 5. The Cubs are 5-0 over his last 5 starts, so as long as Steele is healthy enough to stay out there for a full start, which is what he did the last time he was on the mound. I mean, he went 5 innings, so maybe not a full start for him, but still, he pitched well. I'm expecting good stuff from him in this game, and I'm expecting pretty good stuff from the Cubs bullpen. Not amazing, a 3.80 bullpen ERA, but just a small step better there than Oakland, and they've been pretty solid over the course of the year. The offense for the Cubs has been up and down, big downs at different points early in the season, but seems like they're figuring things out, guys. I mean, 3, 9, 6, 5, and 5 runs over their last few is not terrible, and yeah, guys, this offense definitely is capable of putting up some runs. They're not going to be one of the hardest hitting teams in the majors, no doubt about that, but 12th in runs scored, 15th in batting average. They're a bit around, at least around average, if not above average. So looking at the numbers for this game, we've got the A's at plus 136, the Cubs at minus 142. We've got an over-under of 8 in this one. Oakland is 29 and 47 on the road. The Cubs are 39 and 33 at home. We got both teams showing some small trends here towards the under, and if you wanted to take under 8 in this game, I could wrap my head around that one, especially, if we see good stuff from Basso again and good stuff from Justin Steele. The under makes a lot of sense. I might actually like it better than the side in this game. If you're forcing me to bet the side, guys, I think we've got to go with the Cubs to bounce back here at minus 142 with Steele on the mound, but I think under 8 probably the better value in this game given the pitchers and the bullpens that we're going to have out there. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Arizona Diamondbacks going on the road to take on the Colorado Rockies. The Diamondbacks looking like they're going to lose another one here at Colorado. They're down 6-1 in the top of the 8th inning. That's not what this team was wanting here. Stumbling at the end of the season, not great. I mean, yeah, guys, they're going to be hitting the ball in this one to Eduardo Rodriguez. He's 2-3 on the year with a 5.50 ERA. His last start was a good one against Milwaukee. 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs allowed. Unfortunately for him, that was a game we saw Arizona lose 2-1, and Arizona is 0-3 over his last 3 starts. Not that that's really been his fault, but we'll see what he can go out there and do against Colorado, a team that he had a mediocre start against back in August. So yeah, I mean, 5 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, not a disaster, but not like the dude went out there and dominated. And we're also always going to be worried about that Arizona bullpen, a 4.39 bullpen ERA. They've been a little bit better down the stretch here, but just not a plus level bullpen and nowhere close. This has been probably the best offensive team in the majors this season, but lately they've happened on some hard times, guys. I mean, that could all change in the span of 1 inning, but yeah, recently not swinging the hottest bats. They're still first in the majors in runs scored and first in on base percentage, though. So definitely always an offense to be scared of here, and they're going up against the Rockies, who look like they might have won 2 in a row now, and that will have made them winners of 5 out of their last 6 overall. It's far too little, far too late for this team that's way out of contention. We'll see what Austin Gomber can do out on the mound. He's 5-10 this season with a 4.44 ERA. His last couple of starts have been very serviceable. I mean, 6 innings, 9 hits, and 2 earned runs against the Cubs, and 8 innings, 5 hits, only a single earned run against Atlanta. We see the Rockies are 3-2 over his last 5 starts, so pretty positive things there. We'll see what he looks like going up against Arizona. Obviously not the easiest opponent, but the last time he faced Arizona, he was very good out there. 6 innings, 6 hits, only 2 earned runs allowed in a game we eventually saw Colorado lose 4-3. So Gomber looking decent out there. The bullpen for Colorado somehow like holding things together here against the Diamondbacks, which is not something I had on my bingo card, guys. A 5.33 bullpen ERA is obviously horrendous, and this offense has not been great this season, guys. I mean, the game they're currently in, they've scored 6 runs, which has to look pretty good, but 6, 3, 2, 6, 9, and 4, you wouldn't necessarily think that would be enough to always, have this team winning games against a team like Arizona that you would think would be putting up a ton of runs. But guys, looking at the numbers of this game, we've got the Diamondbacks at -141, the Rockies at +130. We've got an over-under of 11 in this game. Arizona is a solid road team. They've been solid on the road all season, but recently things not quite working out, especially in this series. Colorado is 35-36 at home. We've got different trends here towards the over-under. Colorado's an under team at home. Arizona's an over team on the road. Guys, I'm leaning towards Arizona -141 in this game as long as they go ahead and finish losing their current game. I don't think they're going to lose 3 in a row there to Colorado. Surely this little, cold snap they've got going on has to end at some point, and those bats have to reawaken. Do I like this enough? Do I have enough confidence in this to put it in the pinned comment? I'm not sure yet, but I would have to say that it's got something of a chance. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Chicago White Sox going on the road to take on the Los Angeles Angels. The White Sox come into this game fresh off of a 3rd straight win. Crazy, crazy stuff there for the White Sox. They're down 3-0 in the top of the 6th inning in their current game, so looking like that winning streak's going to come to an end. We actually do not have a confirmed starter for the White Sox, and if this ends up being a bullpen start, their bullpen sporting a 4.85 ERA. It does not necessarily fill me with optimism, and while they've been swinging the bats a little bit better recently, this has been the worst offense in Major League Baseball all season long. Not going to do too much of a deep dive into that, guys. I mean, 30th in runs scored, 30th in on-base percentage, and 30th in slugging percentage. So we'll see what they can do against the Angels, who come into this game looking to snap a sizable losing streak of their own. They're 60-90 on the year. Giving the ball in this game to young Jack Kohanowitz, who is 2-5 this season with a 5.08 ERA. His last start was against the Twins. It didn't go great. 5 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 4 earned runs allowed in that one. And yeah, he just hasn't had necessarily like smooth sailing at any point this season. We'll see what he looks like against the White Sox. Obviously a pretty bad hitting team and a good opportunity for a young starter to go out there and put up a good outing. In terms of their bullpen, the Angels have been much, much better here down the stretch, guys. They're up around, middle of the pack at least, if not even a hair better, with a 3.88 bullpen ERA. That's very, very respectable. The problem for this team usually is their offense. Obviously, they're putting up a few runs in their current game, but only up 3-0 in the top of the 6th. Nothing to write home about. They're 27th in the majors in runs scored and 28th in batting average. Just not a lot of amazing things to say right here about the Angels. So looking at the numbers for this game, we've got the White Sox at +133, the Angels at -152. We've got an over-under of 9 in this one. The White Sox, they're the worst road team in the majors. The Angels aren't much better, though. 30-46 at home this season is not very impressive. We've got the Angels showing some slight under trends, and the White Sox, yeah, just real no meaningful trends here to the over-under. This is a weird game, guys. I'm definitely not interested in betting on the White Sox at plus 133. I'm not interested in the Angels, really, at minus 152. That's a pretty expensive price. Generally speaking, this is going to be a pass for me. If you're determined to bet this game, I guess go ahead and take the Angels. I think there's a good chance Kohanowitz could have a good outing, but really, guys, two horrible teams. This is just not a spot I want to be involved with. Hey guys, jumping in here with a quick ad break. First of all, this is a great time to sign up at stumpthespread.com. Signing up for a premium membership gets you access to our entire team of cappers covering MLB, NCAA football, UFC, and the NFL. If you just want to test out the service, a great way to do that is by joining our free email list, which will get you the occasionally free or premium pick straight to your inbox. Just go ahead and click that link in the description. It'll take you right over to stumpthespread.com. Also, guys, just to clarify some of the questions we've been getting in the emails and in the comments, I am not the MLB capper for stumpthespread.com. These YouTube picks are obviously free to everyone and are just what I am seeing out there. We have an expert with nearly 15 years of experience that covers MLB and has a very strong algorithm and some very cool tools that he uses to bring our premium members the best picks possible. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you're new. Now back to the games. Moving right along here, guys, we're looking at these San Francisco Giants going on the road to take on the Baltimore Orioles. The Giants come into this game fresh off of a 10-0 win there they got for us against the Orioles. Very solid stuff there, but yeah, this team has a long way to go if they want to even have a chance at sniffing competition for the postseason. They're giving the ball to Hayden Birdsong in this one. He's 3-5 this year with a 4.74 ERA. His last start, he was lights out against the Brewers. 5 innings, 2 hits, no runs allowed. Unfortunately for him, that was a game the Giants lost 3-0, and they are 0-5 over his last 5 starts. So definitely a little something you might want to take into consideration. Going up against Baltimore, maybe not the toughest spot right now, but we'll see how that goes. And in terms of their bullpen, the Giants have not been very good this season. A 4.05 bullpen ERA, very, very lackluster. And while they're coming off again, they scored 10 runs. They scored 10, 3, 0, 0, and 0 runs over the last few games. This is not a good team at the plate. They're down to 19th in the majors in runs scored, 21st in batting average. They are well below league average at the plate. So we'll see what they can do against the Orioles, who continue to slump, guys, coming out of a shutout where they got struck out 12 times in that game. It was against Blake Snell, so we'll cut him some slack, but man, rough stuff. They are down to 3.5 games back of the Yankees in the AL East, looking more and more likely they're going to be taking that wild card spot unless this free fall continues. They're giving the ball to Dean Kremer, who's 7-9 this year with a 4.10 ERA. His last start was against Boston. It was very good. 7 innings, 5 hits, only a single earned run allowed. Unfortunately for him, not a lot of run support in a game that we eventually saw the Orioles lose 5-3 in extra innings. So we'll see if we can get any run support in this game. Got to be pretty frustrating out there to be a starting pitcher for a great hitting team and you still get no run support. Got to be a pretty bad feeling. So we'll see how he does. The Baltimore bullpen is always a concern. A 4.11 ERA coming out of the pen is obviously really bad, and the offense, which was historically good early in the year, is turning into historically bad. 0, 2, 4, 0, 3, 5, and 3 runs over their last few games. It's getting real dark out there, guys. They're down to 5th in the majors in runs scored, 3rd in slugging percentage, and these numbers are not headed in the right direction. So we'll see if they can bounce back here against Birdsong. Looking at the numbers for this game, we've got the Giants at plus 150, the Orioles at minus 162. We've got an over-under of 8 in this game. San Francisco is only 32-40 on the road. Baltimore is 42-34 at home. We've got both teams here showing trends towards the over. San Francisco is a major league best 41-27-4 to the over on the road. Baltimore, despite their struggles, guys, 39-31-6 to the over at home. Guys, I think the best value in this game is over 8. I wouldn't, I don't mind that at all. It could definitely find its way into the pinned comment. I think both these guys can definitely get hit. I don't know if that will for sure happen, but I'd say it's got a shot. You could also interest me in the Giants at plus 150 as a very small lean, under the impression that this Orioles struggles will continue. But go ahead and give me over 8 as my main lean on this one. Moving right along here, guys, we are looking at the Atlanta Braves going on the road to take on the Cincinnati Reds. The Braves come into this game kind of in, I'm not going to say a free fall, but they're on a 3-game losing streak. They lost game 1 of this series 6-5. They're going to be giving the ball in this one to Spencer Schwellenbach, who's 6-7 on the year with a 3.73 ERA. His last start was against the Dodgers, and he was very good out there in a win there for the Atlanta Braves, guys. They're actually 3-2 over his last 5 starts, but 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs against a team like the Dodgers is very solid stuff. We'll see how he can do here against against the Reds, who obviously not one of the scariest teams in baseball. Nothing like going up against the Dodgers. We'll see what we get from this young guy. He's only 24, so I'm not expecting him to be insanely consistent. We are expecting a little bit better than what we've been seeing recently from the Atlanta bullpen. A 3.34 bullpen ERA over the course of the season is obviously very good, but yeah, not as dominant recently as they have been this season, and the offense continues to struggle. I mean, 5, 0, and 2 runs over their last few games. 17th in the majors in runs scored, 20th in on-base percentage. This just hasn't really been an offense you can count on unless you see absolutely insane stuff from Marcell Ozuna. So we'll see what they can do here against the Reds, who have won 3 out of their last 4, but this is too little too late for a team that's been one of the bottom dwellers there in the NL Central. 74 and 78 on the year, not going to get it done. They're giving the ball in this one to Jacob Junis, who comes into this game with a 2.73 ERA. He's going to be making his 3rd start out of his last 4 appearances. He's been a bullpen guy most of the season, but in his starting role over his last couple of outings, he's looked very good. 5 innings, only 1 hit and 5 strikeouts in a 4-0 loss to the Mets, and 5 innings, 3 hits, only a single earned run, and a 6-0 loss against the Cardinals. So yeah, not his fault, obviously. He threw the ball well in those outings, but just could not get any run support. So kind of expecting good stuff from him. It's been a mixed bag from that Reds bullpen recently, a 3.95 bullpen ERA for a pen that's been very, very good at different points this season, but not so much right now. The offense has looked up over the last few games, but that's not really something we can count on continuing, guys. 6, 2, 11, 8, and 1 run over their last few. This has not been a great offense, guys. They're 15th in the majors in runs scored, which looks good, but yeah, a lot of those runs came in crazy blowouts, guys. They are 26th in the majors in batting average and 19th in the majors in on-base percentage. So looking at the numbers for this game, we've got the Braves at -139, the Reds at +130. We've got an over-under of 8.5 out there. Atlanta is 39 and 36 on the road. The Reds are 37 and 39 at home, so no big trends there. We do see both teams are borderline significant under teams. Atlanta's 39, 33, and 4 to the under on the road, and the Reds are 37, 33, and 6 to the under at home. I don't hate that over-under of 8.5 at all. I would go ahead and take a little slice of that under. I also think there could be some reason to side with the Braves -139 in this one, but that's a little bit too steep of a price even with Schwellenbach on the mound. So go ahead and give me the under in this one. I'd say it's a very solid play. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Houston Astros going on the road to take on the San Diego Padres. We've got Houston up 2-0 there in the bottom of the 6th inning. We need the Padres to figure something out there to give us our 4-in-1 day. The Astros come into this one. They lost game 1 of the series, but they've been playing pretty well as of late. They've got a 4-game lead in the AL West, hoping to hold on to that. They're giving the ball to Framber Valdez in this game. He's 14-6 on the year with a 2.91 ERA. His last start was very good against Oakland. 6 1/3 innings, 5 hits, only a single earned run. He's given up a total of 1 earned run over his last 3 starts combined, and that's against Oakland, Arizona, and the Royals. So we'll see how he looks here on the road. The last time he pitched on the road, he gave up 3 earned runs to the Baltimore Orioles in a 3-2 loss there for the Astros, but generally speaking, not feeling too bad about how Framber Valdez is looking out there on the mound. But going up against a team like the Padres, definitely a little bit tougher than facing a team like the Oakland A's, and he hasn't faced the Padres yet this season, so we'll see what he looks like out there. I'm expecting decent stuff, though, and I'm going to be expecting good stuff pretty much the rest of the season from this Houston bullpen that's down to a 3.48 ERA coming out of the pen. That is very, very solid stuff. Good for the Astros being able to remake this bullpen kind of on the fly throughout the season. The offense has been all over the place for Houston this year. I mean, they've posted some of the best batting average and on-base percentage and even slugging percentage numbers in the majors, but they've been around middle of the pack in terms of runs scored. Game 1 of the series, they only scored 1 run. They had a decent offensive series against the Angels, but yeah, just not an offense that I feel like I can fully trust. So we'll see what they can do here against the Padres, who had won 4 in a row after winning game 1 of this series. They're going to need to figure something out here, late in the game. In game 2, they're going to be giving the ball to Dylan Cease, who's 13-11 on the year. Obviously, he had that no-hitter earlier this season. His last start was very good at the Giants. 6 innings, 4 hits, 0 earned runs, and he struck out 10. A nice bounce back after struggling pitching at home against the Giants. So we'll see what he can do in this one. I'm expecting pretty good stuff from him. I mean, not the hardest situation to be pitching against the Astros. Maybe not the easiest, but definitely not the hardest. In terms of their bullpen, the Padres definitely deserve some credit. They've gotten much better over the course of the year. A 3.78 bullpen ERA is nice, especially considering the bullpen was what really held this team back early in the season. The offense is rounding into form, guys. I mean, obviously getting Tatis back is nice. We've seen good stuff from Merrill, and yeah, just generally speaking, this is a dominant offense. 7th in the majors run scored. They are the top batting average team in the majors. Like, this is a very, very good hitting team. So looking at the numbers for this one, we've got the Astros at -110, the Padres at +100. We've got over-unders out there of 7 or 7.5. Houston, they're a 500 road team. San Diego is 41-34 at home, so that's pretty solid. We've got mixed trends here towards the over-under. Houston is a big under team on the road, and the Padres are a big, big over team at home. I don't know which way to go on the over-under, guys. That's totally up to you. I don't have a real lean there. I mean, over-under is 7 or 7.5. That's a very small number. Kind of makes me want to take the over, but I'm not interested in that. And really, this seems like a very close spot in general. I guess go ahead and give me the Padres at +100 at home. We'll see how they do here against Valdez, who hasn't faced them before this season. But generally speaking, guys, this game, it's a very exciting game. I'm very interested to watch some of it, but this is going to be a pass for me. Next up, we've got the LA Dodgers going on the road to take on the Miami Marlins. The Dodgers come into this game fresh off of a 11-9 very, very crazy loss there at Miami in Game 1 of this series. They're going to be giving the ball to Landon Knack, who's 2-4 this year with a 3.70 ERA. He finally had a bad start, guys. He got destroyed by the Atlanta Braves. 2 innings, 7 hits, 5 earned runs. So this is a big, big bounce back spot for this relatively young guy. He's had some solid success this season. Definitely have to give him some credit, but yeah, that last outing definitely leaves a bad taste in your mouth. So we'll see how he bounces back here. I'm expecting good things from him, and I'm expecting pretty good stuff from that Dodgers bullpen. A 3.56 bullpen ERA is good. Obviously, not having the best time right now, but we'll see how they, bounce back here. I think they'll be fine. The offense, obviously putting up 9 runs, you expect to win the game, but it's not really what happened. Ohtani's out there. He says there's no pressure on him chasing that 50-50 club, but I think there's a little bit. I think he's going to be fine, though. I think he's going to get there. I don't think it'll be an issue, and this is a very, very good offense, guys. Second in the majors in runs scored, third in on-base percentage. You got Mookie Betts, you got Ohtani, you got Freddie Freeman out there, you got Hernandez. Like, this is definitely not an easy team to pitch to, so we'll see what the Marlins can put together here. I mean, they come into this game fresh off of that fun win, but they've been one of the worst teams in the majors this season. They're giving the ball to Ryan Weathers in this game. He's 3-5 on the year with a 3.55 ERA. He's expected to come off the 60-day IL to start this game. Yeah, he was missing time with a finger injury, and yeah, he's been out since early June. So we'll see how he bounces back here. Seems like a bit of a tough spot to immediately have to go up against a Dodgers team that is coming off of a pretty embarrassing loss. We'll see how he looks out there. We'll see how the Miami bullpen looks. It has not been good here at the end of the season. A 4.06 bullpen ERA. Obviously not great. And yeah, guys, this offense hasn't been amazing either. Obviously, that's weird to say that coming off a game they scored 11 runs, but this season it's not been like that. They've scored 11, 3, 1, 1, 6, 1, and 4 over the last several games. They are 29th in the majors in runs scored. They are 27th in the majors in slugging percentage. Just not a very good hitting team. So looking at the numbers for this game, we've got the Dodgers at -172, the Marlins at +155. We've got an over-under of 9 in this game. The Dodgers are 40-35 on the road. Miami is 29-47 at home. Yeah, that's not great. Looking at the over-under trends for this game, we've got the Dodgers. They're a slight over team on the road, but Miami is a massive, massive over team. They are 52-20-4 to the over when playing at home. That is bonkers, guys. The biggest over team in the majors when playing at home this season. So if you wanted to take over 9 in this game, definitely understand that. For sure makes sense to me. I don't think that's my favorite lean in this one, guys. I'm leaning more towards the Dodgers in this game, and I know -172, it's probably not the worst price ever, but I would go ahead and pump this up. I think this is going to be a big blowout win here for the Dodgers. If you take a -1.5, you can get them down to -110-ish, -108, somewhere in that range. I think that's a pretty good spot for the Dodgers to come out and win this game. I'm expecting a bounce back from Knack. I'm expecting the Dodgers hitters to continue to have a good time. I think Ryan Weathers could struggle a little bit coming back here, going up against such a tough team. So go ahead and give me the Dodgers -1.5 in this game. It's got a shot to end up in the pinned comment. Next up, we've got the Minnesota Twins going on the road to take on the Cleveland Guardians. The Twins come into this game fresh off of a much-needed 4-1 win there in Game 2 of the series at Cleveland. Yeah, at 80-71 on the year, though, they're still 6.5 games back of Cleveland in the AL Central. They're going to be giving the ball to Bailey Ober in this game, who's 12-7 on the season with a 3.90 ERA. His last start, he got absolutely shelled by the Cincinnati Reds, so definitely a bit of a bounce-back situation for him. Yeah, not what you would expect to see from Ober going up against a pretty weak hitting team like the Reds. So we'll see what he can do here going up against a an interesting Cleveland opponent. Obviously, these are very important games here. The last time Ober faced Cleveland, it was back on October 9th, and he went 6 innings, gave up 2 hits and no runs. He struck out 9 in that game, and what was a 4-2 win there for the Twins. So very, very solid stuff from Ober in that one. We'll see if the Twins bullpen can back him up. A 4.16 ERA for the Twins out of the pen is obviously real bad. And guys, the offense, while they did score 4 runs in Game game 2 of this series hasn't been amazing down the stretch, but it hasn't been terrible, but it hasn't been amazing against good teams. So I guess that kind of goes for everybody, but it seems a bit tough. So yeah, guys, not 100% sure what to expect from the Twins offense in this game, as they're going up against the Guardians, who have been playing well. They've still got a 5-game cushion over the Royals there in the AL Central. They're going to be giving the ball to Tanner Bybee, who's 11-8 this season with a 3.60 ERA. His last start was against Tampa Bay. Not amazing. Start before that was very good against the Dodgers. Start before that was dominant against the Royals. So yeah, I'm expecting pretty good stuff from Bybee here. The last time he faced the Twins, he did give up a lot of hits. 5 2/3 innings, 6 hits, only a single earned run allowed. So, we'll see what from that start he can take. But a start against the Twins in May, he was absolutely dominant. So, generally speaking, expecting pretty good stuff from Bybee in this game. Also, always expecting good stuff from that Cleveland bullpen. You might not always get it, but a 2.65 bullpen ERA. Definitely lots and lots of confidence there. The offense is kind of where things kind of go off the rails for this team. I mean, 1, 4, 2, 6, 1, 2, and 6 runs over the last few games. Nothing amazing. We've got Quan now on the 10-day IL, so that's not great. Yeah, maybe that'll honestly be something of a boost. He's struggled a bit, but it seemed like he was just starting to find himself, and now he's back there on the IL. They're 14th in the majors in runs scored, 20th in the majors in batting average. This just isn't really an offense that gets me going, guys. So looking at the numbers for this game, we've got the Twins at plus 100, the Guardians at minus 110. We've got an over-under of 7.5 in this game. Minnesota 38-38 on the road. Cleveland 46-28 at home. A very good home team. We've got mixed trends here towards the over-under. Cleveland's a bit of an over team at home, and Minnesota is basically no trends there. So, guys, you're forcing me to bet an over-under in this game. I would side with under 7.5. I think that's fairly reasonable. I think we're going to see offense be at a premium in this one. I also could definitely wrap my head around taking the Cleveland Guardians at home at minus 110 there behind Bybee. Ober's coming off of a pretty bad start, but yeah, guys, do I trust either side in this one enough to put it in the pinned comment? I don't really think so. Just it should be a very, very close game, and it's tough to know which way that's going to go. Although that does make me want to side towards Cleveland with the better bullpen. So yeah, take from that what you will. Leaning towards Cleveland, but not going in the pinned comment. Next up, we've got the Boston Red Sox going on the road to take on the Tampa Bay Rays. The Red Sox come to this game fresh off of an 8-3 loss in Game 1 of this series. Yeah, the things are just not working out for Boston here down the stretch. They've lost 4 out of their last 5. They're basically falling out of any chance to make it into the playoffs here. They're going to be giving the ball in this one to Cooper Criswell, who's 6-4 this season with a 3.98 ERA. His last start was against the Yankees, and he was pretty good, and honestly, he's been very, very good here down the stretch. Not something I could say for him over the course of the season, but his last 5 starts, he's definitely given the Red Sox a chance to win all of those games. We'll see what he looks like here against Tampa Bay. I'm not necessarily expecting him to be lights out. He had back-to-back starts against them in May, and neither one of them were really dominant, but he was having a hard time back then, and he's throwing the ball well right now. So we'll see what works out here for Criswell. Very, very suspect things from the Boston bullpen, guys. A 4.55 bullpen ERA is one of the big reasons this squad has struggled this season. So worried about that and worried about this offense, guys. 3-2-7-4-1 run over their last few games. Really falling apart here down the stretch. They're 9th in the majors in runs scored, 5th in the majors in batting average, but that's not really what things feel like for this offense at the moment. So we'll see what they can do here against the Rays, who come into this game winners of 3 out of their last 5. Obviously, at 74-77 on the year, they're pretty much in the same kind of situation as Boston. They're going to be giving the ball in this game to Ryan Pepio, who's 8-6 on the year with a 3.76 ERA. His last start, he only went 2 innings at Cleveland. I'm not sure what happened to get him out of that game so early, but generally speaking, he's been pretty good. Looking at how he's done against Boston this season, he actually hasn't faced them since back in May, and he didn't have an amazing time. It was a pretty short outing, and yeah, so we'll see what we get from Pepio. Honestly, I think he'll be fine, but I'm not expecting miracles necessarily. In terms of their bullpen, Tampa Bay definitely has done a good job of reshaping that pen. They had a bad time at the beginning of the season, but now a 3.74 bullpen ERA is very respectable. On offense, that's where the problems kind of come for the Rays. I mean, they just scored 8 runs, but 8, 0, 1, 3, 5, and 2 runs over their last few. Doesn't really fill me with optimism. They're 28th in the majors in runs scored and 29th in slugging percentage. So looking at the numbers for this game, we've got the Red Sox at plus 108. We've got the Rays at minus 113. We've got over-unders out there of 8 or 7.5. Boston, a decent road team, 40-36 on the road. Tampa Bay's a 500 team at home. We've got trends towards the over for both of these teams. Boston's actually a significant over team on the road, but those numbers came from earlier when they were one of the better hitting teams in the majors, and that does not feel like the case right now. So, guys, I don't have a whole lot to say about this game. I mean, in terms of a side, I'm leaning slightly towards Boston plus 108, getting the plus money on a pitcher that's definitely throwing the ball a little bit better right now than Pepio is, but coming off of such a short start, maybe he's got a little bit extra energy for this one. And In terms of the over-under, I would probably take over 7.5, but once again, guys, not really much of a lean here. Next up, we got the Washington Nationals going on the road to take on the New York Mets. The Nationals come into this game fresh off of a 10-1 loss there in Game 2 of this series. They've scored a total of 2 runs over the first 2 games. Not a great look. They're giving the ball to DJ Hurst in this game, who's 4-7 on the year with a 3.70 ERA. He's coming off of a very good start against Miami. Honestly, 3 out of his last 4 starts have been actually dominant, so we'll see what we get from him in this one, going up against a Mets team that he faced back in early July, and he was very good in that start. 5 2/3 innings, 5 hits, 10 strikeouts, only a single earned run allowed. So expecting good stuff from Hurst in a matchup that he's had success in this season, albeit a long time ago. Very problematic, though. This Washington bullpen, a 4.15 ERA coming out of the pen, is not what you want to see, and the bats have been terrible, guys. They scored 1-1, 4-4-4, and 3 runs over their last few games. Just not a very good hitting team. They're 22nd in the majors in runs scored, 23rd in slugging percentage. Yeah, Luis Garcia Jr., CJ Abrams, if those are your best 2 hitters, you probably don't have that much to look forward to when your team comes up to bat. So we'll see what they can do here against the Mets, who at 83 and 68 on the season definitely have plenty to play for here. Francisco Lindor will be back soon. We don't know if he'll be back for this game necessarily, but it's definitely possible. The Mets are handing the ball to Jose Quintana in this game. He's 9-9 on the year with a 3.91 ERA. His last start was against the Phillies, and he was lights out. He hasn't given up more than 1 earned run over any of his last 4 starts, and guys, he's given up 0 in 3 out of those 4 starts. Absolutely dominant stuff recently. That's what we've been seeing from Quintana. So we'll see what he can do here against the Nationals, a team he faced in back-to-back starts back in early July, and he was absolutely crazy out there. He did not give up a run over 14 innings. Over 14 innings, he dominated this team. So I'm expecting another good performance here from Quintana, no doubt about that. It'd be crazy really to expect anything else. In terms of their bullpen, the Mets have been good as well, guys. Definitely headed in the right direction, a 3.97 bullpen ERA. While it's not among one of the most elite bullpens in the majors, definitely a bullpen that you can at least kind of trust now, which is different than earlier in the year. In terms of their offense, they scored 10, 2, 1, 4, and 11 runs over their last few. Obviously, when we see Lindor out, that's not great, but we've seen some good things from this matchup. Obviously, from this offense, obviously they're coming off a game they scored 10 runs, and they're 9th in the majors in runs scored and 9th in on-base percentage. So looking at the numbers for this game, we've got the Nationals at plus 145, the Mets at minus 162. We've got an over-under of 7.5 in this game. Washington's only 32 and 43 on the road. The Mets are 41 and 33 at home. No real over-under trends here, guys. If you're asking me to bet this over-under, I would probably go slightly towards the over, I guess. But yeah, not too much of a lean there. I'm leaning much more on the side in this one. I like the Mets at minus 162. It's a bit of an expensive price. I'm not super interested in taking them minus 1.5 unless we find out that Lindor is back for this game. But if you do take a minus 1.5, you can get him all the way up to like plus 130 or something like that. So that does feel pretty good. Seems like a little bit of a stretch here, and we're asking them to win their 3rd straight game. But with Quintana's great numbers here against Washington, I don't think it's out of the question. I'm probably not going to get greedy though, guys. I'm probably taking the minus 162. Next up, we've got the Detroit Tigers going on the road to take on the Kansas City Royals. The Tigers come into this game winners of their last 3 in a row, and at 79 and 73 on the year, they're keeping themselves right there in the mix in the AL wildcard race. They're 8 games back in the AL Central, so that's probably not a dream that's going to turn into reality, but they're hitting the ball in this game to Tariq Skubal. Got to be pumped about that. He's 16 and 4 on the year with a 2.50 ERA. His last start was against Colorado. He went 6 innings, gave up 4 hits, only a single earned run, struck out 6, walked 0, and got exactly 1 run of support in a game we eventually saw the Tigers lose 4-2. So yeah, very disappointing stuff there. His start before that, he actually had a hard time against Oakland, so we'll see if he can bounce back here going up against the Royals. I would assume this is a team he's had success against this season, since he's had success against basically everyone, but that being said, he had a rough time against them back in early August, so we'll see what he can do here. He had a rough time against them back in May, so maybe this just isn't a matchup that he's really going to have a great time in, so that's a little bit concerning here. The Tigers bullpen, though, I would say is not concerning, guys. They're 5th or 6th in the majors with a 3.60 bullpen ERA. That's pretty impressive. The offense has been trending in a good direction. I mean, 3, 7, 4, 2, and 1 run over the last few. Yeah, the last couple games has been nice, but yeah, not the best best offensive team, 23rd in the majors in batting average and 28th in on-base percentage. Colt Keith, Riley Green, they've done some good things, but just not the hardest hitting squad out there. So we'll see what they can do against the Royals, who come into this game losers of 3 in a row. They're now 5 games back of Cleveland in the AL Central. They're going to be giving the ball to Alec Marsh, who's 8-8 on the year with a 4.52 ERA, but he's been dealing here down the stretch. Maybe not against the easiest opponents either. I mean, yeah, he gave up 1 earned run against the Pirates, 2 against the Twins, 3 against the Astros. The Royals are 4-1 over his last 5 starts. He's been looking pretty good out there. So we'll take a quick glance here to see what he's done against the Tigers this season. He faced them back in May, and he was fine, but not dominant. It was a 10-3 win there for the Royals. So yeah, guys, this feels like a bit of a weird situation we've got building here. I mean, the Royals bullpen, pretty bad, a 4.43 bullpen ERA, but maybe they're getting just a hair better here down the stretch, but I'm not necessarily loving what I'm seeing, and the offense has been mediocre. I mean, 1, 6, 3, 5, and 8 runs over the last few games. Definitely not dominant stuff. Obviously, we've seen Bobby Witt Jr. be an insane monster out there, but looking at the numbers for the Royals, over the course of the year, they're 8th in the majors in runs scored, and they've had success against screwballs. So yeah, guys, looking at the numbers for this game, the Tigers are minus 144. The Royals are plus 125. We've got over-unders out there of 8 or 7.5. Detroit, 39-37 on the road. The Royals are 45-31 at home. We've got the Tigers are pretty big trends towards the over here, and honestly, guys, I think this is a spot you want to go with the Royals at plus 125 or over 7.5. Screwball just has too much bad history against the Tigers for me to be too excited about it. Marsh has been throwing the ball really, really well lately, so honestly, my bigger lean in this game might be just to go ahead and take the Royals at plus 125. I mean, are they going to lose 3 games in a row here at home? Seems like a bit of a stretch to me. Go ahead and give me Kansas City in this one. Honestly, it's got a weird outside shot to end up in the pinned comment. I can't believe I'm saying that. Going against Screwball here feels nuts. Next up, we've got the Philadelphia Phillies going on the road to take on the Milwaukee Brewers. The Phillies came through with the 5-1 win there for us in Game 2 of this series, and at 91-60 on the year, they're absolutely cruising. They're giving the ball to Aaron Nola in this game. He's 12-8 on the season with a 3.62 ERA. His last couple of starts have been very, very problematic, guys. Not good stuff against the Mets or the Miami Marlins. So we'll see if he can bounce back here against the Brewers, who should definitely be a tougher hitting team on paper. The last time he faced the Brewers, he was dominant. That was back in June, though. So it's been a bit now. He was lights out in that game, but is he going to be able to muster that kind of effort in this one? I'd say there's a chance, but I'm not necessarily thinking it's a lock. The Phillies bullpen's been getting better and better here down the stretch, a 3.88 ERA coming out of the pen. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. And the offense kind of finding its way. I mean, 5, 2, 2, 6, and 3 runs over their last few. Bryce Harper hitting a home run definitely has to feel good there. Yeah, guys, we'll just see. We'll just see. This offense, kind of this whole team, it kind of just feels like they're on cruise control now, waiting to get to the playoffs, which obviously that's where they're headed, so I don't blame them too much here. They're going up against the Brewers, another team that should be cruising. They've lost 2 out of their last 3 to fall to 87-64 on the year, but they've got a 10-game lead over the Cubs in the NL Central. They're giving the ball to Freddie Peralta, who's 11-8 this season with a 3.75 ERA. His last start, he was lights out against the Diamondbacks. 5 innings, 6 hits, only a single earned run. That's lights out for Freddie Peralta or any Brewers starter, really, for the record. But yeah, very good stuff from him. He's looked decent in his last 5 outings, no doubt about that. How is he going to look here going up against the Phillies? Obviously, that's a bit tougher of an opponent. I mean, being lights out against the Diamondbacks, that's probably the toughest team you can face in the MLB right now at the plate. But yeah, guys, he hasn't faced the Phillies yet this season, so we'll see what happens for Peralta. We'll see what happens for the Brewers bullpen that's been good this season. A 3.18 ERA coming out of the pen is second best in the majors at the moment. And the offense, guys, 1, 6, 10, 15, 2, and 3 runs over their last few games. Seems like they're figuring things out. They're 4th in the majors in runs scored and 8th in batting average. So looking at the numbers for this game, we've got the Phillies at plus 100, the Brewers at minus 108. We've got an over-under of 7.5 in this game. The Phillies are 37-34 on the road. Milwaukee is 43-29 at home. We've got both teams showing trends towards the over here. Milwaukee's a big over team at home. Am I interested in over 7.5? I guess if you're forcing me to bet the over-under, I would take over in this game. But guys, in terms of the side, I'm leaning more towards the Phillies at plus 100. I know they're playing on the road and Milwaukee's pretty good at home, but yeah, I just don't have that much faith in Peralta, although he's been throwing the ball well recently, so this game's probably going to be mostly a pass for me with a slight lean towards the Phillies. Next up, guys, we got the Pittsburgh Pirates going on the road to take on the St. Louis Cardinals. The Pirates took the 3-1 loss in Game 2 of this series. They have lost 4 out of the last 5. They're in last place in the NL Central. We don't have a confirmed starter for them in this game either, which definitely makes us very concerned. If this is a bullpen start for the Pirates, a 4.62 ERA coming out of the pen is very, very bad. 4th worst in the majors, and the the offense, obviously has been pretty bad lately, guys. 1-0, 4-1, and 3 runs over their last several games. Brian Reynolds, really the only plus level hitter I can find out there for the Pirates. So we'll see how things go for them. Not looking great here going up against the Cardinals, who, seem like they're determined to make one of those late game pushes. They're going to be handing the ball in this one to Sonny Gray, who's 13-9 on the year with a 3.75 ERA. He's been lights out over his last 3 starts, a good one against Cincinnati, good one against Milwaukee, and a very good one against the Padres. So seems like he's kind of figuring things out at the end of the season. Wish that could have happened earlier in the year. The last time he faced the Pirates was back in mid-June. He was dominant, 7 innings, 4 hits, only a single earned run in that game. Guys, I'm expecting very good stuff from Sonny Gray in this one. I'm also expecting good stuff from that Cardinals bullpen. They've been excellent this year. One of the few bright spots for this team. They're currently 7th in the majors with a 3.63 ERA. The offense, 3, 4, 2, 2, and 3 runs over their last few games. Obviously not amazing, but I think they're going to find a way here to put up some runs. They have been recently. Obviously, seeing Jordan Walker crush a go-ahead home run has to feel great, at least for this franchise. And 25th in the majors in run score doesn't look great, but 13th in batting average and 16th in on-base percentage, and getting us a win in a game where we put them in the pinned comment and put the Cardinals logo there in the thumbnail. All feels pretty good. So look at the numbers for this game. We've got the Pirates at -142, the Cardinals at -168. We've got an over-under of 7.5 out there, which makes sense. 2 pretty light hitting teams. Guys, I'm leaning here a bit towards the Cardinals. They're a good home team, 39-35 at home. The Pirates, not a very good road team, and both teams showing slight trends towards the over-under of 7.5. Not super interested in that, but you could definitely talk me into the Cardinals at -168, but you could also talk me into getting greedy and taking them at -1.5, where you can get them at +105, +110. We'll see if that actually happens in this game. Obviously, you're banking on the Pirates to have another terrible hitting day, which I think will happen, and you're banking on the Cardinals to put up some runs against their terrible Pirates bullpen, which I think should happen. So everything adds up to me for the Cardinals being in a very good spot in this one. Rounding into the home stretch, we're looking at the Toronto Blue Jays going on the road to take on the Texas Rangers. Toronto and the Rangers are currently playing right now in an absolutely insane game. The Rangers are up 13-8 in the top of the 9th inning. The Blue Jays have been playing pretty well down the stretch. They swept the Cardinals, and now they're looking like they're probably going to lose this current game. So, we'll see what happens, but not feeling amazing about their season in general. They're giving the ball to Bowden Francis, who's sporting a 3.50 ERA. He almost had a no-hitter in a game that eventually turned into a loss there for Toronto. 8 innings, gave up only a single hit. It was a solo home run against the Mets. Very, very good stuff from him here down the stretch. Expecting good stuff from him once again in this game, although we do get a little bit worried about pitchers who are coming off of a game where they pitched, more than their usual increment of innings and pitches and stuff. So we'll see what happens with Francis in this one. Approaching it with a little bit of caution. The Toronto bullpen obviously is terrible. One of the worst in the majors. Bottom 3 there with the White Sox and the Colorado Rockies. And the offense hasn't been great. They put up 8 runs in an 8-13 loss in their current game, but 8, 3, 7, 4, and 2 over their last few. Obviously, they can put up some runs on occasion, but not a team that I think is a lock to light up the scoreboard. So we'll see what they can do against the Rangers, who coming off probably their best offensive game of the season there, maybe, or at least got to be in the top couple. But wild stuff there. They're going to be giving the ball to Cody Bradford, who's 5-3 on the year with a 3.97 ERA. His last start, he got absolutely dismantled by the Arizona Diamondbacks, although he'd been throwing the ball pretty well coming into that one. So we'll see what he can do here against Toronto, not a team that he's faced yet this season. In terms of their bullpen, the Rangers, not great as well, a 4.57 bullpen ERA, pretty weak stuff there, so not loving that. And their offense, obviously coming off of a huge game, but they got shut out in their last game against Seattle, and not a team that's been great at the plate this season. 23rd in runs scored and 24th in slugging percentage. So looking at the numbers for this one, we've got the Blue Jays at +105, the Rangers at -116, over-under of 8 in this game. Toronto 34-41 on the road. Texas 41-34 at home, so a pretty good home team. We got both teams showing pretty big trends towards the under, and I wouldn't argue with you taking the under in this game after insane offensive output yesterday. I think we'd see both teams chill, so my main lean in this game is probably the under. If you don't want to take the under, maybe a small lean towards Toronto, but this isn't a game that I have a ton of interest in. Last but not least here, guys, we're looking at the New York Yankees going on the road to take on the Seattle Mariners. The Yankees come into this game. Well, they're currently playing right now. The Yankees are up 7-1. They've got the bases loaded in the top of the 6th inning, so it's looking like a pretty good spot for the Yankees to finish this one off. They're going to be giving the ball to Nestor Cortez in this game. He's 9-10 on the year with a 3.90 ERA. He's coming off of 4 of his last 5 starts have been absolutely excellent, so he doesn't go crazy deep into games, but very, very good stuff overall. And the Yankees bullpen, not terrible. They can definitely pick up a little bit of the slack if he only goes 5 or 6 innings in a game. So expecting good stuff from Cortez in this one against the light-hitting Mariners. The Yankees bullpen, like I was saying, very, very serviceable. The offense comes into this game obviously fresh off of a very good one, and yeah, they kind of came alive there against the Red Sox. Seems like things are back on track for what was has been one of the best offenses in Major League Baseball all season long. So looking at their opponent in this game, the Mariners, they are not having a great time in game 1 of this series. They did win 3 out of 4 against the Rangers, but they're 4 games back of Houston there in the AL West, looking like a long shot to be able to, make any sort of comeback there. They're giving the ball to Bryce Miller, who's 11-8 this season with a 3.12 ERA. His last start was against the Rangers, and he was very, very good out there, but obviously facing the Yankees, a little bit of a different situation here. He faced the Yankees back in early May and had a very rough time, giving up 5 earned runs over 5 innings and 3 home runs in that game. So yeah, we'll see what happens in this one. Obviously, it's been a while. Things could go differently this time, but I'm not necessarily holding my breath for a miracle. In terms of their bullpen, Seattle's been very good. They're right there next to the Yankees in the standings, so a very solid bullpen. The problem for this team has been the offense, which has come alive recently, not so much in their current game, but in their series against the Rangers, 7, 5, 5, and 4 runs. That is absolutely insane offensive output for the Mariners, so maybe it's time for this offense that is last in the majors in batting average and 24th in runs scored to kind of cool off a bit. So looking at the numbers for this game, we've got the Yankees at -120, the Mariners at +106. We've got an over-under of 7.5 in this one. The Yankees are 45-30 on the road. That's an MLB best road mark. Seattle is 45-30 at home, which is obviously very, very solid. The Yankees are a big over team on the road, and the Mariners are a big under team at home. Not too interested in that over-under of 7.5. Maybe you could talk me into the over, but guys, I like the Yankees -120 in this spot a lot. They've got good history against Bryce Miller, and I don't think they're going to have too hard of a time putting up some runs, and I expect Cortez to have a good start and that Yankees bullpen to look very, very good. That's all the games we have for today, guys. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. Thanks for watching. You can click the link in the description to check out stumpthespread.com, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for more sports betting action.